Warning: this article contains spoilers for House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 5 and George R. Martin's fire blood. Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding erupts into chaos as plenty of twists and plot setups are introduced in House of the Dragon Episode 5's ending. The imminent notion that Rhaenyra must marry has been building since House of the Dragon Episode 3, with the actual wedding seeing the conflicts from both within and outside House Targaryen come to a head. From the years-long feud between Rhaenyra and Alicent to the violent jealousy of the men that can't have the princess, the knives finally come out in House of the Dragon Episode 5 as all signs point to war. House of the Dragon Episode 5 begins with Rhaenyra accepting her duty as heir to the Iron Throne by officially becoming betrothed to Laenor Velaryon, with both making a deal to dine as they please. As such, Laenor intends to keep his lover Sir Joffrey Lonmouth, while Rhaenyra can maintain the comfort of Sir Criston Cole, although the Knight of the Kingsguard rejects simply being her paramour. When the wedding begins, all goes as planned, until Criston confesses to Alicent Hightower that he slept with Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon Episode 4. Alicent then decides to show up to the celebration late while wearing the green dress of the Hightowers instead of the Targaryens' black and red, revealing where her true loyalties lie. Chaos soon breaks out as Daemon tries convincing Rhaenyra to not marry Laenor. Laena begins flirting with Daemon, Gerald Royce accuses Daemon of killing Rhea, Viserys' nose starts bleeding, and Criston Cole kills Joffrey Lonmouth. Once the feast is cleared, Rhaenyra and Laenor marry in an intimate ceremony with blood still on the ground while Alicent stops Criston Cole from taking his own life in the Godswood. As the event in which the factions of the Dance of the Dragons emerge and the seeds of the battle for the Iron Throne are planted, the wedding between Rhaenyra Targaryen and Laenor Velaryon is one that won't be forgotten in House of the Dragon. Alicent wearing the green dress explained the first big twist in House of the Dragon Episode 5 occurs when Alicent makes her grand entrance at the feast wearing a green dress. While this may not seem extraordinary at first glance, it's a significant representation of where Alicent's loyalties will lie from here on out. Larry Strong mentions that the beacon of Hightower glows green when Alltown calls its banners to war, which is exactly what Alicent is doing in this moment. After realizing that Rhaenyra deceived her in regard to her sexual trysts, Alicent decides to move forward with her father's advice, keep Rhaenyra from becoming queen by working to place Aegon on the Iron Throne. She knows that Viserys will never disinherit Rhaenyra, and because the lives of her children and herself are at risk should Rhaenyra ascend the throne, Queen Alicent is making herself a formidable foe to the princess. Alicent has now chosen House Hightower over House Targaryen, which signals that her loyalties no longer lie with her husband King Viserys either. The Queen had previously worn the Targaryen red, black, and gold after her marriage, so the green dress is a symbol of Alicent both literally and figuratively showing her true colors. This moment also sets up the Targaryen factions during House of the Dragon's civil war, as Alicent's supporters will be known as the Green Party while Rhaenyra's will be labeled the Black Party. What happens between Rhaenyra and Daemon? Do they kiss? Daemon and Rhaenyra Targaryen share yet another heated moment in House of the Dragon Episode 5, though they should have been far more discreet during the wedding. When the dancing commences, Daemon goes to the floor and pulls Rhaenyra away from Sir Joffrey Lonmouth, Harwin Strong, at which time their conversation switches to speaking in the more private High Valyrian. Daemon tells Rhaenyra that she shouldn't marry Laenor, and continues to question if this is what she really wants. Understandably, Rhaenyra says she thought her opinion was of no consequence for Daemon, referencing how he abandoned her in the middle of their sexual encounter in House of the Dragon Episode 4. Still, Rhaenyra lets her true feelings be known when she says that she's technically not married yet, so if he wants her, he must cut down Viserys' Kingsguard and take her to Dragonstone to be his wife. Daemon realizes that she's goading him into doing such things, but that she truly would go with him if they had the chance. However, the two are interrupted when the fatal fight between Criston Cole and Joffrey Lonmouth breaks out, with Rhaenyra's proposition being forgotten. Additionally, just before the fight began, Viserys seemed to see Daemon grab Rhaenyra's face and kiss her, but the view was blocked by others on the dance floor. Given the tension in their conversation, it seems Rhaenyra and Daemon did actually kiss, but everyone was too swept up by the fighting to notice. This moment in House of the Dragon's big wedding proves that Rhaenyra and Daemon truly do want one another, especially since she would choose to run away with Daemon but not Criston Cole. Laena Velaryon sets up her marriage to Daemon while Laena Velaryon is already betrothed to the son of a Bravo Sea Sea Lord. She clearly flirts with and intends to start a relationship with Daemon Targaryen. After the two are left sitting on opposite ends of the high table, Daemon and Laena both head to the dance floor where she gives him her condolences for his wife's passing. The last time Laena Velaryon appeared on House of the Dragon she was 12 years old, but now that she's considered a woman grown in Westeros, Daemon mentioning how pretty she is sets her up as his potential next wife. Daemon and Laena's flirting is extremely brief at Laenor and Rhaenyra's wedding, but it does lead to far greater developments after House of the Dragon's 10-year time jump. Since Rhaenyra is now married and Rhea Royce is dead, Daemon does, in fact, take Laena Velaryon as his wife. The pair even have two daughters, Rhaena and Baela Targaryen, who become dragon riders like their parents. Since House of the Dragon's major time jump is expected to occur at the start of Episode 6, it seems the series will skip over their courtship and pick up after their children are born. Daemon tells Gerald Royce he's going to take Runestone, will he? As always, Daemon causes trouble for House Targaryen before Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding. House of the Dragon Episode 5 began with the Rogue Prince killing his wife Rhea Royce, which was passed off as a hunting mishap. Daemon did so in order to allow himself to take a different wife and produce heirs, but also because he could inherit his own lands upon her death. Daemon reminds Gerald Royce that Rhea stood to inherit Runestone, and since she had no children, it's her husband who is entitled to her claims. Gerald recognizes the truth in this threat, and has no more to say once Daemon informs him that he'll be flying to the Vale to appeal to Lady Jane Eyre herself. Daemon has been on a path to achieve his own power and glory throughout House of the Dragon Season 1, but it isn't land or titles that he wants. What Daemon has really been searching for through his occupation of Dragonstone, victory in the Stepstones, and proposal of marriage to Rhaenyra is validation from his brother Viserys. Taking Runestone won't give him this, but it will give Daemon a home inside of Westeros for the time being, since Viserys exiled him from King's Landing. George R.R. Martin's Fire Blood reveals that Daemon does, indeed, appeal to Jane Eyre in the Vale. However, Lady Eyre rejects Daemon's claim to Runestone and almost immediately sends him away, after which point he goes to Driftmark and marries Laena Velaryon. Why Criston Cole kills Joffrey Lonmouth. The festivities of Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding come to a close when Criston Cole and Joffrey Lonmouth engage in a lethal fight. It's difficult to even classify their dispute as a fight given Joffrey wasn't seen hitting back, but what is certain is that Criston Cole's fury was incredibly personal. Criston was seen beating Joffrey's face unrecognizable, with the knight clearly having died several hits before Criston stopped punching. While not the first gory death in House of the Dragon, the gruesome manner of the killing was reminiscent of Game of Thrones' brutal duel between Oberyn Martell and the Mountain. House of the Dragon Episode 5 didn't show what exactly Joffrey said to incite Criston's lethal fury, but their previous conversation at the wedding already teased the subject. Joffrey continued to press the topic of Criston being Rhaenyra's paramour, an issue that had already been plaguing Criston throughout the episode. Criston didn't want to be Rhaenyra's paramour or have others know that they slept together, as it was a constant reminder that he broke his Kingsguard vows. Consequently, with Joffrey saying that they should come to an understanding in order to protect Rhaenyra and Laenor's secrets, Sir Criston Cole broke down and placed all of his anger from the situation on the Night of Kisses. At the moment that he was beating Joffrey, Criston's fury was truly directed inward, but Laenor's paramour proved an easy target for Criston to physically release his anger and guilt on. Criston likely didn't even mean to kill Joffrey so much as make him stop bringing up his affair with Rhaenyra, but once he started beating him, he couldn't stop. Why Criston Cole almost takes his own life, what Alicent stopping him sets up. Upon confessing his sins to Alicent, Criston had already accepted the imminence of his death as punishment for breaking his vows. Appealing to Rhaenyra to run away with him was already a desperate way to relieve himself of his guilt and shame, suggesting Criston couldn't live knowing that he had betrayed his duty as a Knight of the Kingsguard and soiled his white cloak. Killing Joffrey was a lethal culmination of Criston's guilt, so once he had gone so far as to murder an innocent man in the middle of wedding celebrations, Criston had truly resigned himself to death. By setting down his white cloak and sword before pulling out the dagger that he intended to plunge into his own heart, Criston revealed he couldn't go on with the shame of his actions. However, Alicent had absolved him of these sins on 2 occasions, once when he first confessed, and again when she stopped him from taking his own life. Alicent saved Criston's life in House of the Dragon Episode 5's ending and already revealed she wouldn't expose him for breaking his vow of chastity, indicating Criston's loyalties now lie entirely with the Queen. With both Criston and Alicent feeling betrayed by young Rhaenyra Targaryen, the two are set to form an alliance that poses an incredible threat to the princess trying to ascend the Iron Throne. In order to save her children's lives, Alicent has to stop Rhaenyra from becoming queen, and she'll need someone like Criston to help crown Aegon instead. This also makes matters far worse for Rhaenyra on a personal level, as her previous best friend and former lover are both allied against her. What Rhaenyra Laenor being married means, although both have now lost their paramours, marrying Laenor still gives the princess a major advantage in maintaining her claim to the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra is in desperate need of powerful families in Westeros who will fiercely support her claim, as houses like the Hightowers are already working to supplant her with Prince Aegon. Considering House Velaryon is the richest family in Westeros, possesses half of the realm's dragons, and controls the seas with the Velaryon fleet, Corlys and Rhaenys are the greatest allies that Rhaenyra could have at her side. With Laenor married to Rhaenyra, the Velaryons will continue fighting to have their own blood on the Iron Throne, even if Rhaenyra's heir ends up bearing the Targaryen name. Rhaenyra has a massive challenge ahead of her as the realm pushes back against placing a woman on the Iron Throne, so marrying the heir to Driftmark and multiplying her succession with children is crucial to strengthening her claim. Viserys collapses at the wedding. Does he die? Another shocking twist at Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding occurs during the actual ceremony, as King Viserys I Targaryen collapses immediately after the vows are spoken. House of the Dragon Episode 5 had already highlighted the extent of Viserys' aggressive illness through his terrible seasickness, frequent coughing, collapse upon arriving at King's Landing, and sudden nosebleed during Criston and Joffrey's fight, so this final collapse wasn't unexpected. While the episode didn't reveal whether Viserys had survived the second collapse, Fire Blood confirms that the king isn't dead yet. Viserys' illness has progressed rather quickly throughout House of the Dragon Season 1, but his death won't arrive until after the 10-year time jump. What the rat in Episode 5's final shot foreshadows following King Viserys' collapse. House of the Dragon Episode 5 ends on a shot of a rat drinking from the pool of Joffrey Lonmouth's blood. This final shot is meant to set up House of the Dragon's most brutal moment, which is certain to rival Game of Thrones' Red Wedding and the agonizing death of Shireen Baratheon. The rat in House of the Dragon Episode 5's ending represents the ratcatcher known as Cheese, while the blood symbolizes the butcher known as Blood. The two are assassins later hired by Daemon Targaryen to kill one of Aegon II Targaryen's young sons, which is arranged as revenge for the death of Rhaenyra's second son. The event known as Blood and Cheese occurs relatively soon into the Dance of the Dragons, suggesting the devastating moment could happen in House of the Dragon Season 2. New episodes of House of the Dragon release Sundays on HBO Max.